Hey everybody, my name is Christy. Welcome to my channel if you're new. And today I'm going to talk about all the books I read in August for the end of summer jam mood readathon. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that participated. This readathon was so much fun and it's all because of you guys. It was just such a blast getting all of your Instagram posts and watching all your videos, and a big apology if I haven't gotten to it yet. I have a big watch later list, but it really means so much to me that so many people participated in this, and I definitely want to do it again next year, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I realize it is September, almost October. Maybe it'll even be October by the time I actually get this edited and out, but I still wanted to get it out because I read a lot of really great books and I want to talk about them. I want to answer all the questions just like y'all did. And so here we go, let's get into it. First question is, how did the book make you feel? Talk about the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. And the first book I read was called Vanished by Irene Hannon, and I loved this book. I thought this tale was so gripping. It's about a girl that is driving a car one night. It's a dark and stormy night, and she accidentally hits this girl, and she's like, oh, let me go help. And this man comes to her door and talks to her, is like, all right, I'm gonna call 911, I'm gonna get help. She ends up passing out. When she wakes up, the girl is gone and the man is gone, like all trace of them. So this whole book is like her trying to find out. She ends up hiring a private investigator, like her trying to find out, like, what happened to this guy? Am I crazy? Did I just see something? Is it like a ghost? Is it like something real that happened? Like, what's going on? And I just loved the way the mystery was laid out, how the characters were developed. I thought the romance was just right. I just loved it. So I would say this book made me feel intrigued and happy in that it was keeping me turning the pages. It was very suspenseful. The ending was like, whoa. So I was very impressed by the ending. I really like this book. It's the first in a series, so I definitely want to read the next one. So the next book I read is called Reading Up a Storm, and this book actually takes place in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So the question that goes with it is, do you describe the setting? Do you like it? Would you want to go to this place? And the answer is absolutely yes. This book is so cozy because it takes place in a library, in a lighthouse, on the beach. And so you have like all the beach atmospheric setting going on, and also the characters are wonderful. They all make it feel very cozy. It's got also a small town feel because it's, the people, like Outer Banks is generally a tourist destination, but all the people in the story live there year round. So it's just got this very like close-knit small town feel to it, as well as the beach and the lighthouse and the books and the library. So this was just a really fun read. This is actually like the third or fourth in the series. I really like this cozy mystery series. I realize it's probably not for everybody, but I just really like it. I do like the setting. I do like the characters. I like the story threads that are gone throughout. So if you like that sort of thing, I definitely recommend this series. Okay, the next book I read is called Rose, and it's the Oregon Ever After series, which is a fairy tale retelling series that takes place on the Oregon Trail. And I saw this, and I also know that during the month of August, Anne from In Search of Wonder was doing a prairie readathon. So I saw this and I was like, I like fairy tale retellings. I want to read this right now. This is a mood readathon, and it works with everything. This is awesome. I'm just going to read it. So it was on my TBR, because the third question is, how long has this book been on your TBR? This book was only on my TBR for about a day or two. I literally just like saw it and was like, oh, I want to read that. So I just thought it was a lot of fun because, this is a mood readathon, but the fact that it like also corresponded with another readathon was like really, really cool. And as far as the story goes, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling that takes place on the Oregon Trail, and I thought it was so cute. I wish it was longer. It was kind of a novella. I wish there was more detail and background on things, but I thought the author did a really, really good job explaining things in a short, succinct manner that made the characters and the situation feel real. So yeah, it was really cute. It was a really fun story. Fourth book that I read was probably well, I don't know, there's some really, really good books. I was gonna say it's probably my favorite book of the month, but I don't know, there's really some really good books here. So it's one of my favorite books of the month, and it's Escaping Pirates by Mary Meekum. And this book actually debuted in the month of August, so this was like oh my gosh, it's out, I need to read it right now. And I can honestly say this is one of the best Cinderella retellings I've ever read, if not the best. I don't know, that's kind of hard because I have one that's like, I always say this one's my favorite, but this one, oh, I don't know, maybe it's just a tie. Like, oh, so good. The other one I really like is called Traitor's Mask, and so this one is definitely up there. It was just so suspenseful. The characters, I don't know how these characters survived being on a pirate ship. Honestly, it was so like intense, like the things that these awful pirates were doing to them. At the same time, these characters were so awesome because it was like you loved to hate them. Like they were like the best villains. Like they were actually a little bit humorous, but they were like really evil too. So it was just like they were like the total package as far as like villains go. And I absolutely loved the male main character, the love interest, the little plot twist with him, and I loved the female main character, Elena, I believe her name is. And as far as the question for the readathon goes, did the description live up to what was inside of the book? Did it give too much away? I did not read the description beforehand because I was just like, it's Mary Meekum, I know she has great books, it's a Cinderella retelling, that's all I need to know. And so I went back and I read it, and I think that the description, I think it did a really good job of not giving too much away, just kind of like sparking your interest enough to get you to want to read it. So I think it did a really good job of just kind of like cloaking all the best parts. And also, as an added bonus, I think the cover was absolutely stunning and just made the book even better because the inside was beautiful too. So I think this book is just like the total package. The next book I read is called More Than Words Can Say by Karen Whittemire, and this is a historical fiction that takes place out west. So I feel like this kind of also correlated with the Prairie Readathon. And Lucy from the Lucy Chronicles recommended this book, and I believe Celestia also really liked this one too. And so I was really excited to read it, and they were right. This book was amazing. I love this book because it was a marriage of convenience, and it's about this girl that is going to lose her bakery if she does not get married based on this like antiquated law that the town owners or the townspeople like thought up. And so she's got to get married very quickly or her bakery is gonna get sold or something like that. So she finds this guy, and he agrees to marry her. And I just thought that it was so good because the characters' thoughts and like their dialogue, I just felt like it was really real. Like especially the guy's thoughts about like actually being in an arranged marriage. Like I just thought it sounded like a guy. Like I really felt like a guy was speaking and thinking, and I just really appreciated that. And I thought the romance was just so cute. The romantic progression was great. I thought there was a lot of good external plots going on with other characters that were very, very interesting and very intriguing. There's like a little bit of mystery going on. So I just really enjoyed this book. It was fantastic. And as far as the question for this one, it's a free space, so I can talk about whatever I want about this book. So there you go. You guys heard everything you need to know. If you like historical fiction, romance, definitely give this one a try. All right, next book I read. This book is, I can honestly say, one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. if not my favorites. I don't know, I'd have to really like set them all side by side and be like, which one is my favorite, but this one is definitely up there. So this book is called The One with the Kiss Cam by Cindy Steele, and wow. And unfortunately this question, I feel like I'm like, I wish I had paid attention more to like what order I was reading them in, but it's like, that wasn't really the purpose of the movie readathon. I just wanted to literally like just read whatever. And so this question is, what is the first sentence in this book? And it is, let me give you a piece of advice. And I think that's a great first sentence because it does make me want to keep reading, at least for the first couple of paragraphs. Like, what is her advice, you know? And then on that page, that first page, she kind of goes into like a funny moment, some funny things that are happening that do make you want to keep reading. So I think it was a very good first sentence. I think it was a very good chapter as far as like hooking you into the story. And basically what this story is about is a girl goes on a date with this guy she met on an online app, and he's like awful. But the guy that is next to her, she ends up, they end up being on the kiss cam together because like the other guy like went to get food or something, he like wasn't there, and they kiss. And it's like awesome, and she ends up ditching the other guy and like hanging out with the guy she kissed all night. And then they decide at the end of the night, like, okay, we're just friends, this was just a great experience, like she's getting ready to move. And then they just say goodbye. Well, a couple years later, they meet again. That's all I'll tell you. It's so good. The romantic energy in this book was just so high the whole way through. I didn't feel like there was any time that it was like slow or boring. It was fantastic. Just the way Cindy Steele captured what it's really like to fall in love with someone is the only way to describe it. The characters felt so real. They were not overdone. The male main character was just like wonderful, you know, like I was just rooting for these two the whole way. Tiny little plot twist at the end, I guess. That was just, so wonderful. So yeah, this is highly, highly recommended. I'm definitely going to talk more about this book in the future because, it was just so wonderful. The 7th book that I read was called The Spook in the Stacks. And this was the next book in that Library Lighthouse series that I just talked about after reading Up a Storm. And this was their Halloween book, so I was really looking forward to read this one. I'm like, it's a mystery, and there's been like this ghost story thread that's been like going throughout every book. And so the question for this one is, did you relate to the main character of this book? And so the main character is a girl that lives in an apartment above the library in the lighthouse. So I would say that I do not relate to her. I do not understand this girl because supposedly her apartment is like haunted. First of all, I don't know that I'd feel comfortable if somebody's telling me like, yeah, there's been like ghost sightings and like the story that was behind it is just downright freaky. I'd probably be looking for a new place to live. On top of that, like 4 people have died since this series began, either in or somewhere nearby the library. Ghost stories or not, if like 4 people have died, like been murdered, I'm not gonna be living in that place anymore. Especially when the murderers try to murder you a couple times, because she solved the mystery and then she ended up being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then they tried to kill her too. No. I don't relate to that at all. I realize that if this girl moves out of the lighthouse, it kind of ends the series. So I kind of get that, but like in reality's sense, like I don't think anybody, I feel like if I saw 4 dead bodies, like she found every one of the dead bodies. Okay. If I saw 4 dead bodies and somebody was telling me that my apartment is haunted, what person in their right mind? I mean, I feel like I'd be so traumatized. I'd be like, I'm moving home. Like, I'm moving, because she's from Boston. I'd be like, I'm going back. None of this, no more. I mean, like, can you really, I don't know. Like, I feel like nobody in their right mind would want to stay in that place. But obviously, like, we wouldn't have a series if she didn't. So, yeah. Okay, the next book that I read, well, actually, no, I didn't read this one. I listened to it. It was an audiobook called The Forbidden Library, and I do wish I had been paying more attention to the order of these books, because this one is name a good quote from this book, and I honestly was not even like thinking about that or looking for it, or like, I don't know. It was an audiobook, and it was a children's book, which I really, really enjoyed. I think it put me in the mood for the Harry Potter readathon going on in September, because it was about this girl that she gets orphaned, and then she goes to live with her uncle, and then there's like this forbidden library, and like all these interesting things are happening and going on, and like secret passageways type thing, and it's really fun. That's all I'll say about it. It's really fun. It's really intriguing. I really, really enjoyed this book, but yeah, I did not find any good quotes, so I'll have to do better next year. The 9th book that I read is called A Corpse at the Castle, and this was just a cozy mystery that was on my Kindle for a while, and I was just totally in the mood for it. I've been reading a lot of cozy mysteries, romantic suspense mysteries lately, so I just decided to keep going with that, and picked up this book, and it was about a girl that is a horse trainer in Scotland, and somebody turns up dead, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna solve the mystery. And I absolutely loved this setting. I thought it was so fun. I thought the characters were good. I was actually super disappointed, nothing to do with the writing, but this had to do with the fact that I was reading it on Kindle. People actually highlighted like who the murderer was, like in the very first, like any scene that he was in it, they like went back and like highlighted like his dialogue, like all, and I was like, why do they keep highlighting this random guy? And then I was like, oh no, don't tell me he's like the murderer. So, but it was good enough that I still wanted to read it to like find out if that was really happening, and yes, it was him. So I was really sad. Like, so if you're one of those people that like highlights that in your Kindle, like don't do that. Don't ruin it for everybody else. And I think there might be a way to turn that sort of thing off, but I couldn't figure it out. So if you know how to do that in the comments, can you let me know? Because that really annoyed me that like other people gave away the ending, because I thought it was a really well-written, enjoyable, fun little mystery. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to read anymore, because like people are gonna ruin it for me. So yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant about that. That is all for my August reads. Thank you guys again so much for participating in this. This was so much fun, and a big thank you to all my co-hosts, Lucy, Kelly, and Molly, and Reese. You guys are amazing. You guys made it so much more fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to all my subscribers as well. So that is all. I hope you guys have a really great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.